Welcome back. Today I am going to tell you 5 things I wish I knew earlier about fitness and nutrition. Let's just jump right in. Number one, HIIT workouts are not superior for weight loss. I remember when everyone started doing HIIT workouts in like the 2000s, and it was sold as this amazing workout that was completely for fat loss. It is not the case. Let me explain to you why. HIIT workouts stand for high intensity interval training. For it to be high intensity, it needs to be over a maximum of probably like 15 or 20 minutes. You can't keep up a high intensity for 20 minutes. You could, for 60 minutes. You could do intervals for 60 minutes, but they're not going to be at a high intensity. So a HIIT workout, a high intensity interval training workout, is max like 15 or 20 minutes. There is only so much energy you can expend in 20 minutes. And that energy over the course of 24 hours is a tiny wee percentage. Weight loss comes from the calorie deficit you create between the calories you consume and the calories you eat. That deficit is where weight loss comes from. Now, when we look at the overall calories we burn in a day, a 15 or 20-minute HIIT workout, no matter how much energy you expend in it, no matter how high intensity it is, no matter how much fire you give it, it's still a tiny percentage of your day. So actually, when it comes to burning calories and increasing the calories you burn in a day, HIIT workouts do not contribute to that massively. HIIT workouts are great for other things. They're great for conditioning your heart and many other reasons. That's a whole different topic. But when it comes to actually increasing your calorie burn over the day, HIIT workouts are not superior for weight loss or increasing your calorie burn over the day. The steps you do and how much you move in a day generally contributes way more to how many calories you burn in a day versus a HIIT workout. So number one, I wish I knew earlier that HIIT workouts are not superior for weight loss. Number two, low carb diets are also not superior for weight loss. One of the things that makes people drawn to a low carb diet or makes it seem as if low carb diets are superior for weight loss is because when you start cutting carbs out of your diet, people see big drops in the scale and they're like, oh, I've lost 4 pounds this week, I've lost 5 pounds this week. The reason you drop weight quickly on a low carb diet, it's not fat you're losing. When we consume carbs, our body stores the carbs, but it also stores water with the carbs. So when people start cutting carbs out of their diet, it's not fat they're losing. A lot of the time it is water. And this is why when people start reintroducing carbs to their diet, they feel as if they are gaining weight because as they're storing carbs, they're also storing water. One of the things that makes people successful on a low carb diet is because when they cut out carbs, they increase their protein, which makes them feel fuller and they feel less hungry. You can increase the protein in your diet without having to give up delicious carbs. So if you are tempted by a low carb diet, remember that carbs are the things your brain uses to fuel itself. Carbs are absolutely essential for feeling good. It's where you get fiber from. They're essential for your digestion. They are essential for your brain function. They are essential for things like just energy and vitality and being buzzing. And carbs are just delicious. You can, in order to keep your hunger low, increase your protein. And think about that calorie deficit. How many calories you burn a day? How many calories you consume? It doesn't matter in that calorie deficit whether they come from carbs, protein, or fat, because all the carbs, protein, and fat that you eat added together create how many calories you eat in a day. So if you are thinking about cutting out carbs, remember, low carb is not superior for weight loss. A lot of that drop on the scales that you see from a low carb diet is water. And a lot of the reason people feel less hungry is because they're eating more protein in their diet. So I wish I knew earlier that cutting out delicious carbs out of my diet was not superior for weight loss. Number three thing I wish I knew earlier is the slow way is actually the quick way. So many people, when they start a fitness journey, a weight loss journey, they want the quickest route to it. And I totally get that. I used to think, right, so let's say for talking sake, my maintenance calories, the calories to maintain my body weight is 2,000 calories for talking sake. I'm like, yeah, right. Well, if I only eat 1,200 calories, that will be an 800 calorie deficit per day. If I do that for so many days, so many weeks, I will get to my goal much quicker. It doesn't end up working like that in real life, because when you try and do things the really restricted way, the quick way, the fastest route, even if it's dead hard, I'll be able to stick to it kind of way, you don't stick to it for long. Or even if you do manage to stick to it, you get to the end of this super quick, super restricted, dead hard plan you've set yourself, and you're like, oh, thank goodness it's done. I can now revert back to real life. Then you go backwards, you put the weight back on, and you're like, oh, I've got to do this again. So actually doing things the unsustainable, quick, super hard way, although you might feel like you get there quicker, you're going to need to do it multiple times, because you're going to keep reverting back to what you feel like normal is, or what you feel like real life is. And that's exactly what I used to do, was super restrict myself, see a big bit of progress and be like, now I can go back to real life, revert back, have to do it again. So if you do it the slow way, the sustainable way, the small calorie deficit that you can live with day in, day out, it might be a wee bit slower to get to the goal, but you'll get to the goal and that's it, you're done. You do not need to do it 4 or 5 times, because actually if you have to do it 4 or 5 times, it takes longer overall. So I wish I knew earlier that the slow way was actually the quickest way. Number 4 thing that I wish I knew earlier is, for me, sleep is the most vital habit that I have got. If I get enough sleep, everything in my day is easier. My training's easier. My work is easier. Life is easier. My nutrition is easier. And it's not just that because you've got enough sleep and you're not feeling tired that things like nutrition are easier. When you are underslept, your body produces more of a hormone called ghrelin, which tells your mind you're hungry. And it produces less of a hormone called leptin, which tells your body you're full. So if you've got one of those days that you are super tired, you've had a really crappy sleep, you've been up all night for whatever reason, or you went to bed really late, and the next day you're like, I just can't eat enough. Like, I'm hungry all day. That's because you are underslept. So actually, if you get enough sleep, your hunger hormone's not elevated, you've got enough of the hormone telling you that you are full, you have more energy, you have more clarity, you are more likely to move more. And that's another thing. When I don't get enough sleep, I don't move as much. So the calories that I burn a day are less. I'm much less likely to hit my steps. I can't be bothered tracking my food. I don't want to do a workout. So I don't do all of these amazing habits that help me get to my weight loss and my fitness goal, because I'm shattered. So for me, number 1 priority is getting enough sleep. I actually had a chat with a client earlier today about this, about, she was saying, should I get up early? I kind of like sleeping to this time, but should I just make myself get up early and do a workout? And I'm like, no, we can fit the workout in later in the day. Get your sleep as a priority, because then you are much more likely to do the workout. You will give the workout, you will give the workout more energy, you will be more buzzing, your nutrition will be better, you will move more over the day. Sleep is an absolute foundation. And I wish I knew earlier that for me and for most people, sleep is the most vital habit. Getting enough sleep in makes everything in your life easier. And number 5 thing I wish I knew earlier is that lifting weights is more bang for your buck than cardio. One of the reasons being is, and there's about 18 million reasons to lift weights, but a bit like the HIIT conversation, that's a topic for another day. But one of the things about lifting weights is the more muscle you have, the higher your BMR is. BMR is your basal metabolic rate. That's how many calories you burn if you just lay in your bed all day and you did not move. How many calories does your body burn just to keep all of your bodily functions going, just to keep you breathing? That's your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, the minimum amount of calories your body uses to sustain itself. The more muscle you have, the higher your basal metabolic rate will be. So the more calories you will burn at rest when you have muscle. Plus, it makes your bones strong. It makes your joints strong. And if you want to look toned, You need something to be toned. You need muscle to look toned. And it also makes you feel like an absolute badass. So there's just a million reasons to lift weights. An elevated basal metabolic rate, burning more calories at rest, is just one of them. So that is the fifth thing I wish I knew earlier, that cardio is not king. Yes, we need it for our heart, we need it for our lungs, we need it for many reasons. And you know what? I quite like a wee cardio workout. But in terms of the calories that you burn at rest, the benefits you get from it, you will get more bang for your buck lifting weights and doing strength workouts. So I hope that has been helpful. If you want any more info or you want to chat about how we can help you meet all of your fitness and nutrition goals in 2025, reach out to me at www.julesduncancoaching.com.